And welcome to our presentation, a complete analysis of Allegiant Airlines. And we're just going to kind of go through the overarching strategy that Allegiant uses and some benefits to that, some cons to that, ways they can improve. And this is all done for our Management 4860 class, and you can see our group member names below. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first slide and just give some background to Allegiant, kind of who they are, their evolution, and their business model. So they were actually founded in 1997, and their core strategy targets underserved leisure markets. They operate point-to-point flights using a single aircraft type, and they utilize an ultra low-cost structure. So they're able to save money on aircraft, some of their overhead. They target underserved markets where people are almost like they need to buy their flights, right? Some expansion highlights of Allegiant is they offer bundled travel packages. They bundle flights, hotels, and rental cars together, making this an easy leisure shopping experience for consumers. And they also have strategic partnerships. So they have partnered with resorts and casinos to, again, kind of make it an easy shopping experience for their consumers and their target audience. They also have a credit card and a rewards credit card where you can make purchases, earn points, and apply those towards your flights, rental cars, hotels. Again, they offer a bundled package to make your shopping experience easier and more affordable. And they had an identity shift from an airline to a travel solutions provider. They want their consumers to know that they will take care of them. If they want to go on a trip, their consumer wants to go on a trip, they can help you with your rental car, your hotel, they can help you with your flights, obviously. So they are trying to provide a solution to their market and their customers. Their competitive edge, they have streamlined their operations, they have low overhead costs. Again, they operate point to point, and they have one aircraft type that they use, and they have diversified revenue streams that go beyond ticket sales. So they're looking for ways to expand into other markets and to partner with other people, and really they're just looking for a way to increase their offerings and entice their customers. Navigating market forces and future growth. So they have some external pressures. Some of the external pressures include environmental pressures, things such as climate impact regulations, the cost of aging fleets, economic forces, so fuel volatility and inflation, social pressures, so post-COVID wellness and outdoor travel trends that we're seeing. Technological mobile platform upgrades are required and encouraged, as well as a change in digital expectations. Today's market, they just want to be easy. They want to be on their cell phone. They want it to be very technologically advanced to make their life easier. Their strategic response is to expand into smaller airports. They're staying cost conscious while also being flexible to be able to adapt to the market trends and the pressures and conflict and really anything. And they also work to align their company offerings with their market. So again, their market are budget conscious, leisure focused travelers, those families that want to have a leisure vacation, but they don't want to have to put in all the work to plan or to organize everything, or they might be having the impression that it's too expensive. Allegiant wants to help them plan their trip from beginning to end, provide a budget-friendly trip, and really aim to just serve that market. Their positioning, they have strong brand loyalty in niche markets. Their bundled travel offerings also create added value for the company, and their adaptability and customer orientation is the key to their consistent and strong growth.
We do see a bit of a dip when we compare their operating efficiency to their asset efficiency. Again, they do stack up fairly well, especially considering some competitive. For almost all airline carriers in general, we see this tight but extremely competitive liquidity position that they all seem to be forced into, for lack of a better word. their current ratio is 0.89, which is very close to that 1.0. When looking at how Allegiant stacked up compared to some of the competitors from a financial standpoint, using some key analytics, we saw that they were pretty competitive, especially with an operating margin of 9.3%. This is clearly outperforming all of their competitors like Southwest and JetBlue, Frontier, just to name a couple of them. And their extreme focus on cost control, maintaining lean operations, just keeping costs low, and then of course only focusing on those routes that they deem most profitable has obviously suited them well, again, compared to some of those in the same segment. We do see a bit of a dip when we compare their operating efficiency to their asset efficiency. Again, they do stack up fairly well, especially considering some competitors. Spirit is a bit of an outlier just because of their financial situation and filing for bankruptcy recently, but they still are better than some, but at 0.71%, they could be doing better and applying the assets that they do have in a better way. A big reason that we potentially see this dip is their greatly large investment into the Sunseeker Resort. It's just another way that they try to outperform their competitors with vacation clubs and packages and deals and things like that. So hopefully over time, as this asset is put into use, then we will see this start to tick up a little bit. But for now, when this asset was first purchased, we're seeing potentially a large drop. For almost all airline carriers in general, we see this tight but extremely competitive liquidity position that they all seem to be forced into, for lack of a better word. Their current ratio is 0.89, which is very close to that 1.0 ratio that we'd like to see. However, I do think that this is more standard of industries, not like the airline one. So I think 0.89 for an airline industry is a pretty decent current ratio. And we see that as we compare against a lot of their competitors. A lot of them, almost all of them, are kind of in that same ballpark of just within a tenth of that 1 point current ratio. And this is probably due to the fact that balancing cash flows with their strategic growth can be somewhat difficult. A lot goes into running an airline as big as Allegiant, but they still have their eyes set on growth. So that could be why we see this pretty close to 1 current ratio.
We are going to go over some political and legal factors now. The first few factors include government policies, FFA regulations, as well as labor laws that shape operations. Another factor is infrastructure funding that supports growth in regional markets. Third factor is how climate regulations may require costly fleet upgrades. And lastly, we're going to take into consideration of union and labor advocacy that may increase wage costs. All right, we also have some economic environment factors. This includes economic cycles that could affect leisure travel demands, inflation and fuel price volatility that impacts margins, interest rates that influence capital costs, and then finally, a factor could be if Allegiant benefits in downturns by targeting budget-conscious travelers. Alright, now we're going to talk about some sociocultural environment factors. We have post-pandemic preference for leisure, outdoor, and wellness travel. Another rising demand is for flexible, customer-friendly policies. Increasing social focus on sustainable travel options is another factor. And then finally, a brand appeal to family vacation markets in undeserved cities.
Hi, my name's Landon. Let's dive into technological environment. What we mean by this is with airlines, technology is a very, very important role. And what we have here is mobile booking platforms. There are airlines that all have moved towards this, where we can now go onto that specific airline and book our ticket, which is amazing. We love that, because then we don't have to stress or go on the computer. Like, just having it, or like you're talking about it with family, you can instantly get there, get your ticket right then, right there. I've done that actually multiple times. Very convenient. I love that. And that's where we're moving, where we can be more convenient for our customers. Or AI optimizing your pricing and your maintenance scheduling, meaning you are the airline. It's more for the airlines than the customers, but the airlines are there to be able to go, okay, how can we outperform our competitors? How can we be better? What they do is they get those AI to instantly get those pricing for the seats if they've already been taken, so they don't have to worry about it. Then people are getting the utmost, like, fair value of what's left. If the seats are, obviously there's less, then it's going to be more expensive. And then they can also schedule, okay, which plane's going to be gone, where are we going, so there's no confusion. No one's going to be messing up, because then you got that all working for you. Obviously, you got technology that can reduce costs, something that can help you get those maintenance checks even faster, something that can get those planes moving and going forward. There's that competition. Everyone wants a plane out. People are looking for flights in various different ways. Like, hey, I want one way here, one way there. Like, where can we get this? And obviously, competition pressures Allegiant to keep pace with digital innovation. You see on every single airline, almost all of them are the same. You got your light, you got your fan, you got your seat, obviously, you got your little tray. Like, who is going to make something different? Who is going to be someone that's going to give you a different feature that you may love? A sliding down a little window, like, that's perfect. Like, that is where we are going to see airplanes go in the future, and that's where Allegiant is going to have to step up and make sure that they are there, where the people are comfortable in a plane, where they're up in the air for who knows how long, an hour, a couple hours. Like, they want to be comfortable and feel safe. Okay, we've all been here, where the environment has messed up with us, and it's made our flight go even longer and more miserable for all of us. That could also go with snow being on the runway, something that just makes it so we can't get up on the ground. Now, where Allegiant or other airlines can make a big difference here is letting their customers know that have purchased a ticket, hey, this is going to be happening. This is what we want you to know. There's a refund in play. We obviously know that we can't control this, and that might not work out for you. We understand that. That's where Allegiant can make this big difference in, even with the technology, the AI integration. Like, hey, let's hurry and get this out to our customers right now. Let them know. Perfect. And obviously, there's regulations and demand and cleaner air and aircraft technology. Like, honestly, perfect. Like, we've all been on a plane that's like, it gets super duper duper hot. And if we knew that it can be very clear, and and we also not only clean air, but also cool air, if we want cool air. But also, I know sometimes it gets really cold and we want it warm, but I'd rather have it cold than just blazing hot the whole time, right? That's where you can be different. That's where Allegiant can make that difference, is, hey, we provide this cleaner air. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people I've seen have purifiers. I haven't seen those a lot, like the air purifiers. Knowing that I can go in there and I can have like a safe environment, perfect. That just makes you feel better, because like, I have really, really bad allergies. If I knew every time I went up in the airplane I had bad allergies, I'd love to know that, hey, we provide this clean air. Perfect. Environment makes a big difference, and it's something that every airline should think about, including Allegiant, as they do. Then we get a demographic. Honestly, probably the most important one, in my opinion, because you are out there fighting other airlines about convenience of, hey, where can we take you and where are you going, and let's get you there, right? So if I'm here in Utah, Provo, Utah, and I want to go to Texas, let's say, and that's the only way it goes, perfect. That's great for me. I love that I can go to Texas, and that's the only place the airline can go. But if we can't go anywhere else, like we can't go to Arizona or California, like, then that's where the convenience drops, and then we're looking at different competitors. So getting out in a demographic area is very, very crucial for competitors, And Allegiant has done a very, very good job. I know they're not everywhere. I know they started in, I think, like Mesa, Provo, then they started expanding, and now they're just going to all the, I went and looked the other day, and it's just like so many different options where you can go. I can't list them all, obviously. So it is very important to have that flexibility for young ones, or even the direct flights for older ones, as it specifies right here. They love that direct, like, easy route. I know my mom does. She doesn't want to bounce back and forth between different places. She wants to get boom, no layovers, no 2 flights, 3 flights. She just wants to get straight there. So that is where you can stand different and having the best cost, the best luxury for your customers.
Allegiant focuses on connecting small U.S. cities to popular vacation spots. This works to avoid direct competition with bigger airlines and also keeps costs low. Their strategy includes vertical integration, not just flights, but full vacation packages, including hotels and cars. They even own their own resort in Florida, which adds to their revenue. Allegiant keeps operations lean by flying only one aircraft type and using a point-to-point system. Instead of growing internationally, they have stuck to disciplined domestic expansion, focusing on cost leadership and serving leisure travelers. This strategy makes them more than an airline, and it positions Allegiant as a budget-friendly, full-service travel brand.
Now we're going to be talking about the VRIN analysis that we have done for Allegiant Airlines and why it matters and what specific things Allegiant Airlines should continue to protect and grow when it comes to their resources. So a VRIN analysis analyzes different resources and things that a company has, and it analyzes whether or not those resources can be a sustained competitive advantage. In order to be a sustained competitive advantage, when looking at resources, that resource has to be valuable, rare, hard to imitate, and non-substitutable. So if it doesn't check one of those boxes, then it's not a sustained competitive advantage. But if it checks all those boxes, it is. And why this matters is it really gives you an insight into what makes a company better than any other, and what can give you a long-term competitive advantage over other competitors. And as well as telling you what assets and resources you should protect as a company, and that are worth growing and that will lead to a more sustained competitive advantage over others. This also tells you what potentially you can work at and grow into a sustained competitive advantage resource. So on the next slide, we're going to be getting into the specifics on what Allegiant Airline does well and what they could work on. Going in first, we're going to talk about all the resources that were a sustained competitive advantage. These are resources that are going to give Allegiant a strong long-term edge on the competition. The following are resort, casino, and hotel partnerships. They are a trusted brand in small cities, smart data-based route choices, full vacation packages, clear focus on leisure travelers, and strong presence in small low-cost airports. So these are all sustained competitive advantages that they should continue to protect and grow. Some of the more standard ones that are easy for others to copy are older low-cost aircrafts, direct flights, easy booking and upsell services, fees for bags, etc., and simple operations, one aircraft type. Some things that Allegiant could work on when it comes to their resources are their loyalty program, flexible staffing, smart aircraft buying, seasonal flight planning, and crew training and tech systems. You can always get better and better in these departments, and they will help you sustain a more competitive advantage over others.
Next, I want to discuss Allegiant's current international position. So their international presence, they currently have 122 domestic destinations. They have 0 international destinations. All routes operate exclusively in the United States. Their operational focus is, again, prioritizing low-cost domestic leisure travel. They use a point-to-point model from small regional airports. This really allows them to keep their overhead low. They're able to really serve those niche markets and remain a cost effective or a budget-friendly airline. Their rationale, again, it minimizes the cost and complexity, and it keeps it simple for them. They're able to keep their costs low and provide and turn over those costs to their customers. It also supports tight scheduling and utilization of their aircraft, so able to use their aircraft to its fullest and really optimize the capability and the capacity of those aircraft. It also ensures that their operations align very strongly with their core business identity. And so, again, their core business identity is to be able to provide budget-conscious travel to leisure-focused families. And this allows them to do that. Opportunities and barriers to international expansion. So there are some potential markets that Allegiant could expand to. These places include Mexico, so Cancun, Puerto Vallarta. Those are very touristy locations in Mexico. In the Caribbean, there's Punta Cana, Nassau. In Canada, there's Toronto, Vancouver. So the way that this kind of aligns with their current model, where they operate exclusively in the United States, is that they're budget-friendly vacation spots. So it really matches with their main demographic and helps them, again, keep that budget low. Same with the close proximity. They can use their existing fleet. No need to buy new, fancier, bigger aircraft, right? And the demand for low-cost international leisure travel is increasing. People want to go out and explore other countries and visit new places. And so as that demand rises, Allegiant could potentially reach into those markets and take advantage of that. Barriers, there are regulatory hurdles that would have to be crossed. So they would need SAC approval in Mexico. They would also have more scheduling limitations amongst their pilots. They would need more experienced pilots that are So our strategic recommendations and future outlook for Allegiant. Low risk entry modes. So they could charter flights or seasonal direct service, interline agreements with regional carriers, limited flights in order to maintain operational efficiency. It seems to be that Allegiant just operates best. The smaller and the simpler they stay. The simpler their operations are, the lower cost they can provide to their customers, which is a budget-conscious customer is their main audience. Why should they consider expansion? There's diversified revenue streams, more opportunities for growth. There's more competition in North America to that, and they're able to respond to the ever-evolving customer demand. Our conclusion is that Allegiant's ultra low-cost model is still one of its greatest strengths, and it's clearly working for them. And any international move must be strategic, needs to be gradual, and it needs to really align with their current cost-conscious mindset in order to continue serving their target audience of budget-conscious, leisure, travel-focused individuals. So those are our recommendations, and that is our outlook to their future. And that's all.